Now?
Now.
Now. Hey, we're live. Hey, now we got it. Sick. Hello. Welcome to Livewire Live. This is our first episode. I am Captain Sarah B, your captain, also known as Elizabeth Fullman.
And I'm Gwen Fullman, writer of both podcasts that aired this week. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you. Yeah, this is so cool. We're really excited that you're here. I have some preloaded questions. I have a whole bunch of them today. Just to
Hey, we're live.
kind of make sure that we have plenty of content for you guys today. And if you want to ask anything in the chat, then go ahead and pop a question down there, and then we'll get to those as well if we can. And yeah, so I'll just kind of get us rolling here with something really easy. Since it's our first episode, I figured I'd start us off something really broad and introductory. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been working on these projects and getting started on Livewire Multimedia Stories.
Yeah, hi, my name is Gwen Fullman. I am the writer and musician and narrator for Amity After Dark and Legends of Lorelei, which both came out this week. I have been writing since 4th grade. I've picked up a love of fiction kind of young, and specifically this project, Livewire Multimedia, started maybe a year ago, maybe a little bit more. It's kind of a big hodgepodge of a lot of my work, so it goes back quite a while, depending on who you ask.
Nice. Yeah, so it's kind of like a culmination of a lot of different things over the years, and then also some more recent ideas too to kind of tie it all together.
Yeah. I've been building these settings for a while, and they've just kind of grown, and things have changed and evolved. It's been a really unique process, and I'm really glad I can be sharing it with people now.
Dude, yeah, me too. And thank you so much for that. These episode drops this week I think were really successful. They were really cool. I don't know. I really loved both of them. We'll kind of split up the episode to talk about each one. We'll talk about Legends of Lorelei, and then a little bit later we'll talk about Amity. So I'll kind of just get us started into the Legends of Lorelei stuff first. And to kind of start with, just as a little bit of background, you and I are both from Colorado originally. And obviously the mountains are a really, really big deal there. Hiking and skiing and snowboarding and camping are all really, really popular. And I noticed in the first episode of Legends of Lorelei that the different mountain ranges are so unique. And the way you described them was I don't know, to me it almost seemed kind of spiritual or something. So just how influential were Colorado and the mountains there to you, personally, but then also to your writing and especially in Legends of Lorelei?
Totally. From just from the time I started reading fantasy, I was always a little annoyed with the standard fiction portrayal of mountains, which is that they're these just giant gray stones that just kind of jut out of the ground and don't have any trees on them, because there are a lot of different kinds of mountains in the world. And yeah, I would say Colorado gave me a lot of inspiration early on, and now that I'm writing Lorelei, which has so many different mountain ranges and regions, one of the most inspiring kind of things for my setting has been just the way the world around me looks, and Lorelei has a lot of big inspirations in kind of Colorado and mountains, specifically the Waywind Mountains, where the main kind of show for Legends of Lorelei takes place. That is very much inspired by what Colorado looks like in the rain, because it doesn't rain super often, but when it's a torrential downpour in the mountains, in the woods, it's a special moment.
Yeah, no, it totally is. So The world of Lorelai just it's so expansive. You described in the first episode so many different places, and you kind of circle around to a lot of them, and you give us so much of kind of what's here and all these places that we could explore. Where did this big expansive world of Lorelai start?
Um, Good question. So, like I mentioned earlier, Lorelai's world, Lorelai, and the world that Amity After Dark takes place in are really kind of hodgepodges of some of my older projects. I started kind of working on my own tabletop role playing games in high school, and
Hmm.
a lot of those projects kind of merged their way in to the world spaces. Lorelai specifically, getting it as big as it was a bit of a passion project. I would kind of find an area of the map that I found interesting, or just like, oh, I want to write this story and I want it to kind of take place here. So I would place something down and then fiddle with it and kind of let it grow and evolve. But Lorelai has been in production for a while. I have one of those really big office binders that is just filled to the brim with paper.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's yeah, it's my baby for sure.
So, but it's just kind of another example of like these things over like years, like slowly coming together to build this much bigger idea.
Yeah,
That's really
it it definitely kind of built and became its own in a really, I don't know, kind of meaningful way to me. I got to spend a lot of time building each location or taking a location from something I had done in high school and reworking it, or just kind of putting it in the setting and seeing what fit and what didn't. And I don't know, it's ended up being something I'm really pretty fond of.
that's so cool. So, without like any spoilers, which of these places are you the most excited to reveal to us in more detail? And are there any places that we should pay special attention to?
Yeah. Um, well, for one, um, the next episode, which comes out next Monday, is focused on the southern kind of region of the map, which is very like swampish, jungle esque. I'm really excited to tell some stories there because I really like the general atmosphere of that area. My favorite area, which I mentioned kind of briefly in the first episode, is that in the Waywind mountain range, there are tiny cities run by rodents just up in the mountains, and I really can't wait to tell some of those stories because I really like those ones a lot.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's like when I listened to it the first time, I almost got like visions of like little like mouse circuses and things like, but like on like a bigger scale.
It's a very cute part of the setting. Yeah, I've got a lot of general ideas of places I want to go, especially in the first season, just to give kind of a broad overview of what the world itself is like, and there are too many cool ones to name. Oh, we have a question in chat.
We have a question in the chat. So besides nature, what are your other sources of inspiration? Specifically, what stories or authors are you inspired by?
Oh boy. I really love the Redwall series of books. Redwall is just so kind of special in that it is a children's fantasy series about rodents who run little English cities and fight wars, and yet it just feels so like organic to read and kind of cozy. John Flanagan, the author of the Ranger's Apprentice books, which is another YA book. I just really like how that world kind of feels, I don't know, like juvenile and yet entirely realistic. There are like wizards and stuff in that world, and yet they take kind of a backseat to more grounded elements, and it makes for a very unique world space. C.S. Lewis was kind of the first fantasy author I really, really fell in love with. Otherwise, I tend to just get inspired by watching people in their day-to-day lives. People do super unique things and all have like their own unique stuff going on, and if I'm struggling for inspiration, I tend to go people watching. I learned that from my mom. So
yeah, real life is like gold mine of inspiration, I found as well.
Absolutely.
We have another question.
Oh my lord.
If you can answer it without giving too many spoilers, what kind of government and or religion do the rodents follow or not follow?
That is a fantastic question, and I can answer it, I think. So the rodents of the Waywind Mountains separate into 3 major clans. They are technically like a shamanistic kind of chieftaindom, I think is the word I was looking for, where they're like almost a monarchy, but not to such an extreme extent. And specifically in the rodents' like largest city, they are vaguely religious, and they worship specifically one tree. They are monotheistic, and they are vaguely like animist. They believe that everything has a spirit, and that spirit can kind of awaken at any moment. Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about the rodent people. I don't know if that's gonna be...
Okay, I'm really excited for this part too. Okay, well,
they're fantastic.
We will definitely have to keep listening for more. There's so many good stories that I just hear already, just that I just want to go deeper and deeper.
I also love vague religions and trees. Thank you.
Yes, as do I. So I really can't wait to get to all of these locations. If you wouldn't mind, because a good chunk of the first episode was just kind of like going through the lay of the land and just like all of these places. Could you just like quickly recap kind of like the different major areas that we're dealing with in Legends of Lorelei?
Yeah, I'm glad we're doing this actually, because outside of the character of the bard, I feel like I get to be a little bit more kind of upfront with information, instead of very flowery and kind of vague. We'll start from the top down. So in the north, you have what the bard referred to as the warrior people. All of Lorelei is really focused on the concept of knighthood, even like cultures that don't do knighthood, quote unquote, because what it means to that world is the promise to another person to always be their protector and their friend. Which I can say this, why not? They see it as what's called little magic, where if you break a promise to a friend, it feels like a spell was cast on you because you start to feel sick. Even if like the friend has betrayed you, there's like a part of that betrayal that will always feel uncomfortable and bad. So the people of the north are like super focused on knighthood and kind of valor in battle, but they're also very like kind of chill and relaxed about a great deal of things. They have to deal the most with like dragons and a bunch of other like monsters and stuff like that. So they tend to be a little bit more on the like level-headed, kind of tactician-y side.
Okay.
Then right below them is my like spy master nations, which are very like I wrote them to be like a seat of political drama, of like flirting and scheming. I have a lot of like spy stories written in that part of the map. Oh no, my dog is barking.
Oh,
That was loud.
where'd you go?
Sorry about that.
No worries.
I have a lot of like kind of a focus in that region on kind of like courtly scheming and romance stories and kind of the politics therein. Right below them would be the people to the east, who are all like very religious. They're vaguely puritanical, in like vibes, I suppose. I kind of wrote them to be my like magic fearing, kind of austere and pious folk. And I have a lot of stories kind of out of there of like confronting biases and just generally, they're also the ones who are pretty much constantly dealing with monsters from across the ocean.
Oh wow, okay.
Which I can also talk about those if you want me to. They're certainly a concept.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, how long do you think it'll be before we start to get like a little bit more in-universe explanation about things about the cataclysm and some of these like really big things that you've hinted at that are like that feel like bigger
Totally.
long-term like story building.
Our next episode is just a short story to kind of like get people comfortable with the world. The one after that is some more world building stuff. I'm just going to be talking about like a big concept of some importance. After that, I'll probably do another short story, and then I would say episode 5 is probably when we'll start to delve into the old empire and the cataclysm and the result of all of those stories a little bit more.
That's excellent. So we have an awesome month of release planned for Legends of Lorelei for sure. And another thing that I really want to talk about before we move on to Amity is the music that you have, these little riffs that you have going on in Legends of Lorelei. It's really short, but it's really, really pretty. And I know that is your own music that you wrote yourself, that you recorded yourself, and that you played yourself. And so, how old were you when you started learning music? And how did you end up where you are now in your music journey?
Oh boy.
Like, walk us through.
My family is very music kind of oriented. I grew up around a lot of singing. I didn't start playing instruments until I was probably 11 or 12. The first instrument I owned was an electric bass guitar. She is my baby. I love her.
Nice.
Then I picked up acoustic guitar in high school, ukulele in high school, and the riff that you hear in Legends of Lorelei is on the mandolin. And I bought my mandolin maybe 2 months ago, and I'm still kind of learning how to play it. That riff was inspired a lot by the music of Silent Hill 2.
It's amazing. Good work.
Yeah, and even in Amity, there's pieces of music I've done. Music is something I'm definitely trying to learn more of. Something I'm trying to do a lot on this journey is learn as many mediums of art as I can so that I can at least understand them better, if not perform when I need to. Yeah.
That's so cool. Music and yeah, music is a great way to transition into the Amity episode from this week. So one of the things that I loved about the way they use music in Amity is more or less the lack of it, I guess. We're
Yeah.
in this radio show. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. It's like in this like nobody's listening to this, right? And then there are these weird sections where there's supposed to be music, and there's just like these little clips of the
Yeah.
beginning and end of some music, and it's like skipped time or something, and it's really creepy and off-putting. You did such a good job of really establishing in that first episode the horror genre that you're in.
Thank you.
Um, and I am just kind of curious, how did you decide on horror being your other genre for your podcasts that you're releasing right now?
Totally. I started writing horror when I was in high school again. I got really into Vampire the Masquerade. It's one of my favorite tabletop games
Nice.
ever made.
Classic.
And it kind of spiraled out of control from there. The World of Darkness has so many fun toys to play with that I just got really invested and really enjoyed kind of playing in that space. I the setting that Amity After Dark takes place in is called Terminus, and Terminus is a really big setting.
Mhm.
It is designed so that I can tell any number of stories in it. There are uh, superheroes in Amity City at the time of Amity After Dark that the narrator knows nothing about, and there is like a world war going on, so I can tell
Oh wow.
like espionage stories and spy thrillers at some point. But I
So this is
settled.
another story that Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, you're all good. I settled on having the first piece of Terminus media be horror because I do think that's kind of my best literary strong suit. And I think it
Mhm.
does a good job of introducing just kind of the depth to which that world kind of exists.
Yes. Oh, yes. Good job. And this is another thing that kind of just came together from like a lot of like tabletop RPG and like other writing projects that just kind of like
Yeah.
slowly over years built up into a thing.
Yeah, my earlier projects, if you kind of rummage around through them, you can find like a bunch of very clear things that I just moved over from one place to another. References and concepts that, like, originally I was like, oh, this is just for a horror game, and this one's just for a superhero game. And then I realized that there's not really a great reason to separate them as long as I play my cards right. So a lot of that world is stitched together like a proverbial Frankenstein's monster.
It's so cool though. It's a really cool concept though. I really like it.
Thank you.
Um, so I did notice that like part of the format at least seems to be very heavily inspired by like Welcome to Night Vale.
Yeah.
Um, I'm a really big fan. I know you're a big fan. Kramer's just an amazing writer in general. There are other podcasts that he's done that I'm a big fan of.
One of, if
Um,
not the most prolific podcast writer I think I've ever seen.
yeah,
Just gifted
just
to the absolute
quintessential.
highest echelons.
Agreed. Like nothing but praise. I do think that you made a very bold move to write something so similar and still try to like be unique and stand out. So what sets Amity After Dark apart from Welcome to Night Vale, and what comments do you have about like the obvious inspiration that you have for that format?
Totally. Something that really kind of drives pretty deep into Amity After Dark is that where Night Vale is a very strange world, very like openly and clearly, Amity After Dark takes place in a world really similar to ours. The only difference is that like every dark corner might be hiding something, and people just don't notice it because we're all kind of trapped in our own bubbles. And that's one of the reasons Amity After Dark is set in such a big city, is so that I can really explore just how much of the world people miss when they're kind of dealing with their own stuff. Um, Inspiration-wise, Night Vale was really the first podcast I ever listened to, and I love the kind of radio show format. I love Cecil's character just in general because he fits so well in that world, and something I'm really trying to do with the narrator for Amity After Dark is make it clear that she doesn't fit in super great as a human being who is consistently aware of the presence of the occult. She is really the kind of the outlier among most people. Something that I also kind of want to delve into soon as we progress is getting the narrator off of the advertising, getting some recorded ads, kind of building out that world a little bit more. My main hope is that Amity After Dark kind of rises to be its own horror story, but I will always really love Welcome to Night Vale, and I am so inspired by it almost every single day.
Nice. No, what a great answer. Just love that. I have nothing but praise for Amity After Dark. I think that you're doing a good job, and I think that your plans for the future for it are just going to make it even better.
Thank
and
you.
I'm really excited for you.
Thank you. Yeah.
One of the things that did really well was establishing that like this is a weird place. The history is weird. The regular goings on are weird. The ads are weird. And our radio host seems normal, and she's like the only one that notices the weird things. And everyone else is just like kind of oblivious to it.
Yeah.
But not in the same way, like we said, as Welcome to Night Vale.
It's kind of a fun like foil to reality in an ironic way that the narrator is somehow who feels like the person who feels the most normal, when in the real world, if someone walked up to you on the street and was like, I have proof of a giant bug man who eats people, you would typically cross the road.
Yeah, like if someone came up and was like, I have proof of Mothman, I'd be like, sure, buddy. Like,
yeah.
Me too.
the host for Amity
Let me go to
After Dark,
Imgur and just look that up real quick.
She feels so normal as like a host, but ironically in that world, she is like the highest tier of someone you don't want to have a conversation with on the train.
Yeah, so then if that's the case, then how does she approach a radio show as the only one who seems to question this weirdness? Like, you know, she's already been put in this 3 a.m. slot, and like she's clearly like back burner.
For now, at this kind of early stage in the show, I think she has absolutely no idea how she even got access to a show and doesn't really know what she's doing. Which
that makes sense.
Yeah, I try to play with it a lot with kind of her uncertainty. She laughs at her own jokes. But I think character-wise, one of the things that drives her the most is the understanding that there is something in the world happening around her that no one notices, and when people don't notice things, important details tend to slip through the cracks.
Okay. That's really cool. I like that answer as well.
I'll be putting out a lot more backstory for her in some later episodes, and she'll start to make a little bit more sense as a person.
Yeah, totally. And also I'm trying to be very careful because I'm also editing episodes for those in audience and chat. I also am editing episodes, so I'm a little ahead, and I'm trying to make sure I don't accidentally give spoilers in talking about some of this as well.
That is true. You do have a little bit of an advantage, as you know what the next episodes are about.
Slight advantage over everyone else in the chat.
A little bit.
So I do want to stick on Amity for just a little bit longer. And there's a question that I now kind of have that was not originally on my list that I sent you, and I'm kind of sorry that I'm putting you on the spot like this.
Oh no, you're all good.
But it does kind of tie into another previous question that I asked about Lorelai, about the lay of the land, and I'm just gonna kind of ask basically a similar question about Amity. Like, what is the kind of space that we're dealing in here? Because one of the things that I did notice is that the way that you gave kind of details of locations, like when we're talking about like kind of the similarities and differences to Night Vale, the way you gave locations was very different. And it came
True.
across very different, at least to me. And so, just like kind of as like a top-down view of what we're dealing with, like what kind of space are we dealing with in Amity, and
Yeah.
what, what's the lay of the land there?
Um, so Amity City, uh, all of my locations in the world of Terminus are very sociologically built. I would take a real world country and I would change its DNA just enough to see how I think the sociology of that place would change, which is a really long way of saying that uh, the the nation that Amity City is in, which is called Redonia, is basically what would have happened if the United States had decided to stay as disparate colonial governments, all united under a single flag. Um,
Okay.
Amity City itself, though, is a combination of New York City and Chicago. It is on the water,
Okay.
it's comprised of multiple islands, it's got kind of a number of boroughs and um, just general like enclaves within the city. Um, the main character, the narrator for Amity After Dark, lives in Hatbridge, which was very much inspired by the Bronx, and the
Okay.
radio station she works at is in Westbridge, which was very much inspired by Manhattan. So
Awesome.
one of the things I really wanted to do with kind of the way she speaks and talks about the city was play it kind of from the like LA school of how to refer to locations by like cross streets and vaguely what borough they're in.
But like small city, like
Totally.
maybe 10 or 15,000 people, but like Amity feels like a big city.
Yeah,
And that was my initial impression as well. So I'm
the city don't even fully know that some of the other occult people of the city exist, and there are groups that will know that one thing exists and not fully understand it despite being very similar in like nature and constitutions. I wanted it to feel very, very urban.
Yeah, I think you succeeded in that. Um, it definitely feels that way. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what episode 2 is gonna look like. That is one that I'm not ahead on chat of. I don't know what episode 2 of Amity looks like, chat, so we're in this together on this one.
That is true. I have not sent over the episode 2 script yet.
So these are both very, very extensive worlds, with a lot of thought and planning put into them. I mean, again, this is like years of things just kind of culminating and coming together, and big binders of notes and things.
Yeah.
Um, my what's really funny, my husband actually said something to me that really stuck with me after the first episode of Lorelai this week. And they said that first episode felt like a long-term promise.
Oh, that's such a sweet thing to
Um,
say.
I thought so too. And I had very kind of similar feelings. Like they shared that with me, and I was like, yeah, it kind of did, didn't it? Um,
Yeah,
so
that makes my heart happy to hear.
so how much story do you have here right now, and how far do you think this can go? Like, for over a season, over
Totally.
into the future beyond that, like.
Um, with Amity After Dark, I have the first 3 seasons planned out. Um, I don't know if I will continue that series after a third season, but I know I will continue to work in that setting, um, no matter what that looks like. Be it a different show or a show in the same city but from a different lens. I definitely want to continue working in Amity City, but as of right now, Amity After Dark, I have 3 seasons planned out. Legends of
Nice.
Lorelei, I have notebooks filled with short stories that just need to be rewritten to be spoken word. Um, I could probably be doing Legends of Lorelei for the next 20 years and still have notebooks
Oh wow.
to read out. It
Oh wow.
The world of Lorelei is really big, and there are thousands of topics to kind of cover within that, and things that happened similarly to one another but didn't happen the same way. And I've got I have a spreadsheet of character names that goes from here to Jupiter at this point, of just people who
Wow.
exist in the lore. Um,
That's amazing.
yeah, I have a feeling I will be producing Legends of Lorelei for a very, very long time.
Well, I would be very happy to keep listening to it for a very long time. It's beautiful. And it just that first episode is just so cozy and comfy, and I love it. I've listened to it like 4 times this week.
Thank you.
Um,
I've been told the second episode also sounds cozy by you, so hopefully it's
yes,
as cozy of an experience.
yes, I think it will be. I think everyone in chat and everyone who's going to be watching this later on the replay is going to absolutely love it. So I know these first few episodes you're putting out like 1 episode per week each. So on Mondays right now you're putting out Legends of Lorelei, and on Wednesdays you're putting out Amity.
Yeah.
What's the plan for how episodes will drop through the rest of the season? Like,
Yeah.
and just what to expect.
Okay, so October this month, you guys will be
Mm-hmm.
getting an episode of each show each week. Mondays will be Legends of Lorelei. Wednesdays will be Amity After Dark, which means you are getting 4 episodes for each show before November, which is super cool. Once November
That's
hits,
awesome.
I agree. Once November hits, I'm going to slow down a little bit, and we'll go to 1 episode per week. It'll alternate between Legends of Lorelei and Amity After Dark. They'll probably both be posted on Mondays.
Sweet. That's a very, very reasonable release schedule, I think, especially for this beginning bit to just like
Yeah.
get these stories out because they're really good. Like,
First, and then we can kind of slow it down,
yeah.
put a little bit more time into things.
So if we have any more questions from chat, now would be the time. In the meantime, I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
What would you like to see from fans of your work? Because you're definitely already starting to accumulate them. You have like one sitting in the room with you right now. Hi, hello, it's me. I'm the
Hi.
problem. It's me.
Hello.
What would you like to see from fans of your work, and how can we support you on this crazy adventure that you've started us all on?
Yeah. First off, just listening to the episodes is more than I could ever have anticipated or hoped for. It makes me feel so happy that there are people out in the world listening to me tell my stories. I don't know, it's a very odd feeling to have someone behold your art and then tell you it's good. So if that is what you guys have in you, please just keep watching, keep enjoying the episodes. Otherwise, I would love to see fan art. Literally anything. I love to see the interpretations of my work. And we do have a Patreon. If you are looking to get rid of a dollar or $5 at the end of every month, we do have a Patreon that I will be starting to use pretty religiously. Episodes will come out early there. You'll get access to our Discord server where you can vote on things, behind the scenes content. I'll probably let people like vote on what the next episodes will be about, especially for Legends of Lorelei, where there's not as much of a strict plot. Yeah,
Nice.
but just keep enjoying things and keep existing, because it is really legitimately so humbling and so crazy to see that people are actually listening to my work. And I've got a lot of stuff planned. I've got short films planned and tabletop role-playing games in the works. I am not going to leave you high and dry. We've got some cool stuff coming up.
Sweet. Love it. So, this is pretty much, we're kind of hitting the end of Livewire Live. I think we're planning to do these like once a month to just kind of like recap, talk about the episodes that came out that month, talk
Yeah,
about projects that we're working on that are coming out in the future, things like that.
we'll probably do
So,
another one of these before October is over, just because there will be so many episodes to kind of go through and summarize.
yeah, maybe end of October or like that first Wednesday in November or something. But yeah, we'll be doing another one kind of soon, and then we're gonna try to go to like once a month on these lives, and we'll have some good questions. We'll always be able to have questions from chat, and it should be a fun time. We're really excited to share stuff with you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here, everybody. Have a wonderful night.
Hey, wait, hold on before
Wait,
we go.
hold on.
What places can people go learn more information
Yes.
about Livewire
Oh my
Multimedia
god.
Stories besides right here on YouTube, obviously?
We have an Instagram account at. Let me grab my telephone. I'm so bad at remembering usernames because we have a few of them. We have an Instagram at Livewire Multimedia. You can follow my personal Instagram at Gwen_Fullman. We have a Tumblr account under something. Ooh, we'll get better at this, I swear. We have a Tumblr account under Livewire Multimedia. We have... I think that's it.
The YouTube.
We have the YouTube, and we have the Patreon, which... The Patreon...
We have the Patreon.
If you...
Yeah, what's the Patreon?
If you must know, the Patreon is Livewire Multimedia Stories.
Livewire Multimedia Stories.
Yeah, and I will add
Thank you
all
guys
of these
so much.
links to the description of all of our videos, so you'll have access to them.
Sick! I'm so excited for next week's episodes and
It's
to come
gonna be
back at
so
the end of
good.
this month and recap everything that's happened over the next few weeks. Alrighty, well, thank you so much. Thank you for answering so many good questions. Thank you, chat,
Thank
for
you
asking
for-
such good questions.
Thank you for asking good questions, and thank you, chat, for also asking really cool, good questions.
Sweet. All right. Until next time.
Until
Good
next
night.
time. Night all. Okay, I think the stream ended.